Hello and welcome once again to Beyond the Boundary. आप देख रहे हैं TOI Sports, and as always we'll be discussing the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. We are firmly on the road to the first test. आज क्या है? आज Tuesday हो गया है. Friday morning the action will begin. I can't wait for it. I'm sure you can't wait for it either. The more, the more the number of days, the more practice, more news that is coming out of Australia, you just feel the excitement building. And you know what? It's reaching a fever pitch. I am very excited. I'm assuming you guys are also excited, and our panelists are excited as well. As always, we have a full panel, and we'll be discussing the first test, the build up to the first test. हम बात करेंगे कि हमने कल क्या बात की थी, और आज हम कोशिश करेंगे कि इंडिया की प्लेइंग 11 कैसी लगेगी, खासकर की बॉलिंग अटैक कैसा लगेगा, नंबर 7 पे उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा. We'll be discussing all of that. So, on that note, I'm Chetan Narula, as always, as you know. Let's welcome the panelists. Today, we have a full panel. We have K. Srinivas Rao, Group Sports Editor, TOI Sports. Welcome, Srini. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you. And looking forward to the
Uh,
BGT now.
yeah, absolutely. The excitement is just building up. And on that note, we also welcome Sahil Malhotra and Dopayan Datta. Welcome, guys, to the show. And Dopayan has already told me, उनका excitement बढ़ता ही जा रहा है. And I think he's very concerned about कि जितना ज़्यादा practice करोगे उतना injury होने का chances है first test से पहले. So he's more concerned about that than his excitement for the first test. हाँ दोपायन?
हाँ, बहुत ये लोग प्रैक्टिस थोड़ा ज्यादा सीरियसली ले रहा है. प्रैक्टिस मैच खेलता तो इतना इंजरीज नहीं होता. वो थोड़ा ऊपर बॉल डालता ना तो इतना इंजरी नहीं होता है.
Indian cricket fans are weird. Indian journalists are weird. ज़्यादा practice करे तो problem, practice ना करे तो problem. But yes, you know what? Like we said, we are firmly on the road to the first test match, to the Perth test match. So let's start our discussion. Let's set कि आज हमारा discussion क्या होने वाला है. Let's bring back let's bring back the graphic that we had, the top order graphic, the top 6 का जो हमारा graphic था. Let's have a chat on that, क्योंकि आज हमारे पास दो नए panelists हैं, and साहिल मल्होत्रा ने fill in the blanks में participate नहीं किया था. How is this going to look like? India's batting lineup. This is where we left it off yesterday. We'll start our discussion from this point onwards. How are we looking at this? Because there's a lot of chop and change, a lot of movement, etc. Let me set the pace. When it was clear that Rohit Sharma is not going to be part of India's first test, or there was a possibility that he's not going to be part of India's first test. We just wait for Dopayan to log back in. Srini and Sahil, तब ये तो clear हो गया था कि the team management. I think Sahil was the one who mentioned that maybe we should have a stopgap arrangement. Have Shubman Gill go on and open the innings, and उसके accordingly आप अपना middle order तैयार करो. However, with the KL Rahul experiment, the Indian team has pretty much made it clear that Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli were not going to move around their spots. Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Rishabh Pant, that is your core middle order. So from that perspective, now Shubman Gill is not there. From that perspective, how do we see this batting lineup playing along? So let's start with K. Srinivas Rao, then go to Dopayan and then Sahil. Srini.
In the given options that you have, especially that considering Rohit is not there, which is like the biggest name missing in the lineup. So the first thing I have to think of is how do I fill that slot? And from that perspective, I don't see, I'm going to blindly go with KL Rahul for that spot. I'm not going to even blink on that decision. Overseas, he's still been one of India's better batters, and there's no rocket science in terms of who else can be a better choice to replace Rohit. And I'm not, and I'll also like to clarify right now at this point, I'm not looking beyond Perth. I'm only looking at Perth. Right. So purely from the perspective, KL Rahul for me is the apt replacement for Rohit Sharma. That leaves the number 3 position. And let me also make that clear. In number 3, I really don't have a choice. मेरे पास choice ही नहीं है. The only guy who can fill in that slot is Padikkal.
Devdutt Padikkal. Yeah, I mean, you have made him stay back, but lots of comments coming up. Sahil, I'll take you first and then go to Dopayan. Sahil, is there an update on Shubman Gill? ये तो clear है He's not in the first test, but let's take one of our regular commenters, Nimish. He's saying there is news that Gill doesn't have a fracture. Can we see him in the pink ball Canada game? Do you have any update on this? I haven't seen this news. First of all, I'll be very
Yeah, yeah.
honest.
So
I
we'll
haven't seen
stick
this.
with
Yeah.
we'll we and I and we at the Times group will stick to the fracture bit for now. He has a
Okay.
fracture in the left thumb. That's what I was
Okay.
told. That's what I stand by. And right now it's touch and go for the second test. And
Okay.
if things heal in time and he gets better in time, I don't think they'll be rushing him for any test
Yeah.
or a warm up game here. Abhi, you are
Okay.
looking at 5 test
Yeah.
matches, so I think I'll leave it there. Shuman Gill is
Mhm.
not there for the first test, and you'll probably get an official confirmation tomorrow. I think R. Ashwin is attending the press conference tomorrow, and it's the coach day after, if I'm not wrong. So Ashwin will be there in the press conference. I don't know why he has been scheduled to
No, no,
attend.
I think it might be the I don't know. Should be coach and captain. Jasprit Bumrah on
No,
Thursday.
no, I think it's
Thursday,
Ashwin.
Thursday is
The
Heat series.
BCCI have shared that Ashwin will be attending tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't check that either. Anyway, to answer all of your questions, for the first test, Shubman is out. Definitely. लेकिन उसके बाद जैसा भी update आएगा, I'm sure we'll have the stories on board. But now, Sahil, since you were speaking, your thoughts on this batting lineup, and then we'll go to Dubai.
I think to me it's a no-brainer. Yeah. Ever since they picked Abhimanyu Iswaran, I was very clear in my head that they're not going to play him for any of the fixtures until and unless you run out of
Yeah.
batters. And
Yeah.
they had the option of holding back India A players. और उन्होंने पहली फुर्सत में प्लेयर रोक लिया. वरना पहला आप लॉजिक लगाते तो आप अभिमन्यु ईश्वरन को 3 पे खिलाते. Clearly, they are not convinced with Abhimanyu Iswaran, and we have been saying this repeatedly here on TOI Sports that it was a very rushed selection. अगर आप एक हफ्ता या 4 दिन और रुक जाते तो प्रॉब्ली साई सुदर्शन आपको मेन स्क्वाड में दिख सकते थे क्योंकि वो रिसेंसी बायस उसके फेवर में चला जाता. दैट डिडंट हैपन. Devdutt Padikkal, KL Rahul are no-brainers to me, and at number 6 I will play Dhruv Jurel as a pure bat. I'm very convinced of that.
Yes, I think ये तो consensus बन ही गया था in the last week or so कि Dhruv Jurel is somebody that the team is looking at, that management is looking at, the fans are looking at, the journalists are looking at. Dopayan, let's bring you in. We've had a lot of conversation on this. Dhruv Jurel at number 6 as a pure batter. Look, he's a terrific batter. He's had a good batting time in Australia for the India A team, and we've seen his mentality. We've seen the way he bats in Test cricket as well. He can perform he can perform various roles. लेकिन ये consensus बन रहा था कि whether Sarfaraz Khan is somebody that they should continue with, whether they should for the first 2 test matches. I think Srini have made that point. So let's talk about it. Gopayan, your thoughts? Do you think this is the top 6 that we are looking at in Perth?
Yes, absolutely. This is the top 6, and what I heard is that like the slip cordon that they are practicing now with Devdutt Padikkal, Virat Kohli, and in third slip it's probably KL Rahul, and in point Dhruv Jurel. So they have already the fielding cordon has also been practiced. So and so Dhruv Jurel will play. That's how it's going to be. And Sarfaraz Khan, see, like 4 back-to-back failures in Indian cricket is a lot of failures for a young player. Like in four innings, he did not get runs, and the way the situation is at the moment, I was quite certain that it was very difficult for Sarfaraz Khan to hold on to that place. And the
Okay.
way he got out in some of the innings against New Zealand, A, and B, the way Dhruv Jurel batted in that India A match in Melbourne at MCG, I think there was no way they could not have picked him unless he got injured in practice. So it almost became a no-brainer after the MCG practice game that Dhruv Jurel will play, because you have to go by current form, and he really looked good in that match.
Okay, let's take this comment. Srini, you were advocating for Sarfaraz Khan. He deserves there. The first 2 test matches, 3 or 4 innings. You just want to see him. Sarah Chandra keh rahe hain, why should Sarfaraz be dropped out? Let's play 4 bowlers with Ash at 8 and 3 paces and give him a chance. It also means you want to play a batter extra. Should we play a batter extra? And if we are not playing a batter extra, are you still advocating for Sarfaraz ahead of Dhruv Jurel?
Japan says 4 innings. I can count a lot of batsmen who probably have more than 4 innings.
Srini, unless you are a Virat Kohli, there are different yardsticks for different people. Yeah.
Yeah,
you,
but
you,
ठीक है.
you know, you live in
हाँ.
that point. I don't see any reason why Siraj should be dropped. It's okay. It's okay to fail. I mean, like give him a chance. Don't put a gun to his head, because he's got you so many runs in first class cricket, and he's so. Now again, it also depends on what kind of a track it's going to be, and I'm clueless yet in terms of what is Perth offering from that standpoint. But if it's a good batting track, okay, if it's a good batting, I'm sure I'll get to hear more from all of you all on this. But if it's a good batting track, and if I have the choice to make, I personally would go in with Sarfraz, knowing that the guy has been desperate for these kind of opportunities for a long time. We all know that he's got the appetite that it takes to kind of flourish at this in this format. And from that standpoint, I need a guy with a big appetite. I need a guy with a big appetite. From that, but he's a liability on the field. So that's where I'm going to kind of be a little skeptical.
If you're going to leave out Sarfaraz, it's not because of he's a liability on the field.
No, that's
That's
as I said. If there's a good batting track available to me, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go with Sarfraz.
okay. So but if we have to pick someone here, अगर हम यहाँ पर बात कर रहे हैं कि ध्रुव जुरैल को लेना है या सरफराज को लेना है, are you looking at Sarfaraz ahead of Dhruv Jurel? And at the same time, is there and let's bring this honest question, because now we are trying to move on to the next part of the program where we're going to talk about 7 to 11. Are you looking at playing an extra batter? जो अभी तक न्यूज आ रहा है, Perth का pitch, the curator says, I want a spicy pitch. And Perth will obviously give you good bounce. There's going to be some grass on it. Reverse swing शायद इतना ना हो, because it's a drop in pitch. Australian grounds are very lush green, especially at the start of the summer. There's the chance of there's rain predicted before the game, probably some patches during the test match as well. So pace is going to be foremost. Should we play? Let's be very honest. Should we play an extra batter? Let's get your thoughts on this. Trini, then Sahil, and then Dwapan.
Yeah, I mean, I would go with the top six. I would go with the six, and I need batters. Given the kind of form that I have, I will go in with an extra batter, especially with the absence of
So just
Rohit
four
Sharma.
bowlers. We're saying let's go with 4 bowlers, 3 pacers, and a spinner. Okay.
Yes.
Sahil, your thoughts on this? Should we play Dhruv Jurel ahead of Sarfaraz? If not, are we playing an extra batter? Should we play an extra batter?
No, we should play Dhruv Jurel ahead of Sarfaraz Khan and have Jadeja at 7. And then you play your 4 quicks. In those 4 quicks, Harshit Rana has to be one, because he can swing the ball. He
Let's
can
not go
swing
there.
the hand.
Let's not go to the bowling attack. Let's just stay on this topic. Do we
Haan.
play an extra batter or not? What are your reasons
No.
for not playing an extra batter?
No, you need 20 wickets here. To me, that is more important. You need 20
But
wickets to win a test.
to pick 20 wickets, you need runs on the board.
No, I agree, Srini, but I think playing an extra batter would be going in with 4 fast bowlers, right? Just 4 fast bowlers. Jadeja, agar wo situation hua, to you get one bowler to handle the other end, right?
Okay. Let's bring on Dopayan in this debate as well. Are we looking? Your thoughts on this? Dhruv Jurel ahead of Sarfaraz. Should we play? An extra batter or not? What are your reasons for both the questions?
See, because you have taken Nitish Reddy, you are convinced that he can bat, and he can be your all-rounder option. So if you have taken him with that much confidence, then play him. Then play. He was not great, not bad in the practice game. He was kind of okay-ish. So play him at 7. I think, because if Ashwin is coming for the press conference as BCCI has
Yes.
put it out,
Yes.
then they will not drop a senior player if they send him for a match day -2 press
Yes.
conference, and
Yes.
they will not drop him from the 11. So I think 8 will be Ashwin, and 9, 10, 11 will be the 3 pacers, and they will
Yes.
play
And
Nitish Reddy at
yes.
7.
And with this, yes, absolutely. And with this, let's come to this bowling lineup. अब यहाँ पर हम देख रहे हैं, उससे पहले हम ये बता देते हैं, हमने इसका ग्राफिक तो नहीं बताया है. Sahil, you were mistaken. On Thursday, we have the pre-match presser of the captain, not the coach, the captain.
No, that's what I said. No
Jasprit
coach or
Bumrah
captain.
on Thursday. No, just captain. It's mentioned captain there. But anyway, It will be captain.
Ashwin is tomorrow. Ashwin is tomorrow.
Tomorrow is
Ashwin
going
is
to be
tomorrow.
Ravichandran Ashwin. Tomorrow is going to be Ravichandran Ashwin for the pre-match presser. And Dopayan brings an interesting point कि आप इतने senior player को press conference में लाकर it's not going to be like you're going to drop him. You're not going to drop him from the test if he's doing a if he's doing a pre-match presser, pre-series presser, 2 days. But is it possible? Is it possible? Could it happen?
Yes.
Srini, Sahil, let's get your thoughts on this.
I'll throw a rhetorical here. Can India afford to do it? Can India afford to drop him?
That's a separate question. That's a separate question. We'll talk
No,
about
that
it.
answers the question. That answers the question.
Okay, so you are saying now let's talk about this bowling lineup. आपने कह दिया कि ध्रुव जुरेल रहेंगे. Number 7 पे Srini, you wanted an extra batter, right? You wanted an extra batter. So for you, that's Sarfaraz. Then you're looking at this this playing 11 where you have 3 pacers. Are these the 3 pacers you're going to play? And then Ravichandran Ashwin as your spinner. Is that the lineup that you are going with, Srini?
No, you put me in a dilemma. I'm still not convinced about a number 7 slot here.
Okay, so that's that.
You know,
So I have to put you on the spotlight here. That's the topic of the day. That's the topic of the day. Who is going to be at number 7? Should we play
again,
an extra batter? Should we have a
I,
spin?
let me be extremely honest with you.
Yeah.
I haven't, and I'll be like not be saying the truth here. I've not really read anything about the pitch. I don't know anything about the wicket. What exactly do we have at play here is something that I don't know. From that standpoint, I think I would want to kind of listen to
Okay,
views
I'm
here
telling
and
you.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Whatever I have read, the pitch curator story was there. He said it's going to be a spicy pitch. There's going to be a lot of bounce. He wants a bit of movement as well. There is prediction that there might be rain as well in Perth, and Perth
Huh.
is going to be a drop-in pitch. It's going to be at
Now
the
let me
Optus. It's
now
going to be a drop-in
let me
pitch.
let me
There
play a
might be
devil's advocate. If that is the
issue.
if those are
Yeah.
the conditions that are available, let me play a devil's advocate here. If those are the conditions that are available, you have 9, 10, and 11, which is Siraj, Akash Deep, and Bumrah, right? If I had to consider a fourth bowler, do I have a pace option?
Nitish Kumar Reddy,
Nitish Kumar Reddy, and can
Prasidh
he bring
Krishna,
runs to the board?
Prasidh
Can he
Krishna.
add runs to the board? Between Krishna and Reddy, who serves the purpose better?
Nitish Kumar.
That's it then.
Okay, so now you have changed. You want to go with Nitish Reddy as your number 7, and then 8.
I'm
You
just
want
saying.
Ravichandran Ashwin.
I'm
Okay.
just saying. I'm just saying that is the only option that comes to mind. So
Okay.
for me, Jurel is out. Jurel is out. Okay.
So you will still play Sarfaraz.
I will either go with an extra batter who's got the ability to score big, and I'll play that this thing, or I'll figure out a guy who can bowl a bit and bat a bit, and just kind of pad up that space, which is Nitish Kumar Reddy at number 7. So for me, Jurel is out of the picture. It is between Sarfraz and Reddy. Now again, in those two, between the two of them, then again I'll see what kind of form which guy is in, and what kind of
Okay.
attack I'm playing. If
Hmm.
if you know, again, given the form of the Indian batting lineup, given the absence of Rohit,
Hmm.
given the skepticism that surrounds KL Rahul's batting right now, given what Virat has been up to, I would like to bolster my batting lineup. I will go with
Hmm.
Sarfraz.
Sarfaraz.
That's
Okay.
the
Okay. And
initial.
4 bowlers. So you're saying Dhruv Jurel at 6, Sarfaraz at 7,
Yes.
and then you pick your 4 bowlers. Sahil, your thoughts on this? What is your equation in this? आप क्या सोच रहे हो? You said very clearly you don't want that extra batter. We had a comment इससे पहले as well that we cannot afford to play an extra batter. We might as well play an all-rounder. You tell me, are you thinking a pace all-rounder, a spin all-rounder? What are you thinking of the pace attack as well?
No, I have my doubts with playing both Siraj and Akash Deep together here. I think
Okay.
only one of them should be playing, whether it's Akash Deep or Siraj. You should make some space for either Prasidh Krishna or Harshit Rana. It's a no-brainer. If you have to play them, you have to play them at the Waka. I'm very clear in my head. You need that hit the deck bowler on a surface like Waka, and Harshit Rana and Prasidh Krishna. I think दोनों में से एक तो you must play यार. अब आप at the cost of who? कुड वेल भी आकाशदीप, क्योंकि वो थोड़ा मूविंग और वो सीम पे कटने वाला बॉलर है, तो आप थोड़ा एक एग्रेसिव माइंडसेट वाला बॉलर ट्राई कर सकते हो. एंड 7 and 8, आई थिंक आई विल स्टिल गो विद जडेजा एट 7 and हर्षित राणा / प्रसिद्ध कृष्णा, एंड देन डिपेंड्स हु अमंग्स द टू, सिराज और आकाशदीप. अश्विन मैं उस पे ऐड करना चाहता था, मेरे दिमाग में बहुत चीजें चल रही थी 2 दिन से. I think Ashwin is the safest person to send for a press conference right now because Gambhir, if you send him right now after what he did at the departure press conference, I'm not criticizing what he did, but just stirring that pot and Australian media says reactions I from Ponting and Tim Payne has been going on and on. I think the only person who can handle this right now is Ravichandran Ashwin. Virat Kohli won't come for a press conference. रोहित शर्मा है नहीं, आप किसको भेजोगे प्रेसर के लिए? केएल राहुल को आप क्यों भेजोगे? सो बचा कौन? अश्विनी बचा आपके पास प्रेशर पे भेजने के लिए. सो आई एम लुकिंग एट इट दैट वे. और इंडियन क्रिकेट में कोई गारंटीज थोड़ी यार कि अगर प्रेशर में आ रहा है तो खेलेगा ही खेलेगा.
But you expect that. You expect
I
that.
expect that, but I see some sort of मुझे ये रीजन लग रहा है कि right now they are sending that elder brother of the team to just kind of fight the bullets which will be fired.
Yeah, decent explanation. Let's move on. We'll have a lot of comments, so we will talk about that as well. Dopayan, your thoughts on this? Who are you looking at? Number 6, number 7, number 8, and do you agree with this fact that you have to play these three pacers? I mean, Jasprit Bumrah, yes. Is it a toss-up between Siraj and Akash Deep? Will you play both Siraj and Akash Deep? Will you definitely play Mohammad Siraj?
See, Mohammad Siraj, you will definitely have to play. Like last week, I was thinking that till 6, at 6, it's Jurel, 7, Jadeja, 8, 9, 10, 11 are Bumrah, Siraj, Akash Deep, and one among Prasidh Krishna and Harshit Rana. Now, Harshit Rana apparently is bowling so well in the practice games. Batters are struggling to bring their bat down apparently, and he has got some wickets also. That's what the reports are from there. Well, that's what people are saying. He has been bowling extremely well, and वहाँ पे लोग बोल रहा है कि हथौड़ा गरम है तो अभी मार दो, and Gambhir likes him also. So there is this thing, but if they do not play Jadeja, then they will have to play Ashwin, and Ashwin can't come at 7. Ashwin को 8 में ही बैटिंग करने आना पड़ेगा because so this press conference thing, if he comes for the press conference and doesn't play the match, this will be a first in Indian cricket. हो भी सकता है, Sahil is right, anything can happen, but अगर होता है then this will be a first. मेरा तो 20 साल का एक्सपीरियंस में मैंने कभी नहीं देखा मैच के -2 में कोई प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आके नहीं खेल रहा है. So that will be quite something, but my 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 will be Dhruv Jurel, Nitish Reddy for now because you are not playing Jadeja, Ashwin, Siraj, Bumrah, Akash Deep.
Yeah. Okay. Look, when you mentioned the fact that Harshit Rana and when you mentioned that fact, I remember the 2018 tour to South Africa. वहाँ पे जैसे हथौड़ा गरम करने वाली बात थी ना, तो Jasprit Bumrah was quite hot at that time. He was yet to play Test cricket for India, and they had been prepping him since September with thoughts of playing him in Cape Town. And then he comes in and he had not played a home test, single home test. So they suddenly prepped him. It was Shastri, Kohli, and Bharat Arun, and they had this thought in mind: why don't we play Bumrah in that first test in Cape Town? I think Srini, you were there. So ये हथौड़ा गरम करने वाली बात जो है, हथौड़ा मार दो, गरम है लोहा. I think that is an apt statement. If Harshit Rana is coming in hot at the moment, if he's bowling so well in the nets, they haven't given him an international debut. I'm sure they have seen something that they have taken him. We all know that he has pretty decent pace. He can make the ball rise up nicely. Is there a temptation there? Because then you would want to go with Bumrah and Siraj. The reason I'm asking is this: Bumrah and Siraj को आपको तब खिलाना ही पड़ेगा because you need two experienced pacers over there. And Siraj and Bumrah have the experience of playing in Australia. Akash Deep then sits out. And then you play a third pacer in Harshit Rana. But Australia is not that easy a place to make your test debut. Srini.
वो एक ऐड है ना मिंटॉस का, दिमाग की बत्ती जला दे. जब वो द मोमेंट Dwayne said use Gautam Gambhir and Harshit Rana in the same sentence, वो मेरे को तब तक वो एंगल एक्चुअली अकर ही नहीं हुआ, वो मेरे दिमाग में चला ही नहीं. The moment he said it, I was like, oh, yeah, of course, that's why it never came to my mind. Now that as this conversation went on further from there, I'm beginning to now change my entire line of thought basis that one line what he said. Why not? Harshit Rana is playing this test match. 100% he's playing this test match. It never occurred to me. The name just never came to my mind. And now that he mentioned Gautam Gambhir, it just falls in place. Why wouldn't Harshit
Yes.
Rana play this test match?
No, but Harshit Rana playing cannot be because of the Gautam Gambhir factor alone. You
Not
can't play
alone.
somebody
Not
coach
alone. He
like
also
you should also be a player, who can play on surfaces like that, right?
in the current set of circumstances, he fits the bill. I would play Harshit Rana in this ahead of our number 9.
Which is what? Siraj or Akash Deep? What are you talking about?
Siraj. Siraj. I would
You,
go with
you're gonna
Akash
play
Deep.
Harshit Rana ahead of you're gonna play Akash Deep
Yes.
ahead of Siraj and
Yes.
also Harshit
Yes.
Rana ahead of Mohammad Siraj. And maybe you're
Yes.
talking in terms of current form, but Sahil and Dopayan, will the
Hmm.
team management think, irrespective of who is at number 7, who's at number 8,
I'm just thinking
आप अगर
aloud.
चार
Okay.
पेसर खिला रहे हो, अगर आप चार पेसर खिला रहे हो, that's a different story then. But if you're playing 3 pacers, you would want experience. And Siraj and Bumrah bring that experience in Australia, especially if you're handing a debut to somebody like Harshit Rana, Dopayan.
Siraj.
देखो, if you are playing a spinner, then वो
Yeah.
चार पेसर में वो 4 आउट एंड आउट पेसर्स नहीं होगा. 4 पेसर वो नीतीश रेड्डी को ही खिलाना पड़ेगा because they do not have an option there. क्योंकि and then your three pacers like Harshit Rana Harshit Rana, the idea is that they are banking on his potential. Gautam Gambhir has seen something in Harshit Rana, that is why he has been taken. He has gone with the squad. Now, there are numerous examples of a captain or a coach banking on the potential of a player and just taking him on gut feeling, like from Inzamam ul Haq to Wasim Akram. These are great examples of players who had been picked on the basis of gut feeling and then becoming stars. So I do not know if it is that the potential is of that level. If it is a very sane selection, then probably no. Harshit Rana should the 3 pacers should be Siraj, Bumrah, Akash Deep, and Nitish Reddy as the 4th pacer, and your spinner Ashwin or Jadeja, probably Ashwin. And you need that spinner because overrate these days is very important. WTC points are involved with overrates. So एक
We're not
spinner
keeping the
चाहिए ही
WTC
चाहिए.
final as it is.
नहीं,
We're not
but but that is like if you can't finish with 70 overs 75 overs a day, वो
True,
थोड़ा
true.
अभी issue हो गया है. So
Okay.
हाँ, yeah, so that
Okay,
one
let's
spin
let's,
option.
let's get some comments in. Yeah, let's get some comments in, which will help us bring us structure to this fill in the blanks at the moment. Introspect. He says Harshit Rana has hit the deck. I get that, but why not debut him in India? Play him in couple of India A matches and then unleash in Australia. Could have been a different story. Sahil, we know the story here. आपको उसका uncapped retention करना था ना, right? Is that the story here?
That's you putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying that, Chetan. I only tweet about that. I'm not saying on this platform.
You tweeting is putting words out there. वो साहिल मल्होत्रा ने ये words किए. You can't say कि my cousin or my
These days,
मैंने शो में तो
he
नहीं
says
बोला. शो में चेतन ने बोला लेकिन ट्वीट मेरे नेफ्यू ने किया. तुम ये तो नहीं कह सकते ना. If you tweeted it, you said it, right?
these days he
No.
says something and he gets phone calls, so he avoids saying these.
He's getting big, right? Sahil, look, I mean,
No. So
yeah, go
Chetan,
ahead.
see, pace attack. I've been thinking बहुत pace attack के बारे में सोच रहा हूँ, and then it occurs to me, आप factor in करो, you are playing at 5 different venues who are not similar to each other. The color of the ball changes for the second game. You as a management has to be very, very shrewd and smart in playing the right pace attack combination. When you kind of put together an 11. And I forgot sharing that link which we could have showed on the show today. I was a bit caught up. So as I said a couple of days back, the interview with Mike Hussey has actually gone live today. And I spoke to
We'll
him
take
on
that
the
tomorrow. We'll take that
and
tomorrow.
I spoke to Mike Hussey and he talked about the group mentality of a fast bowling combination. And right now, I don't get that group mentality confidence with Siraj, Akash Deep and Bumrah for the Waka test. That's where I'm coming from. That is why I want someone like a Harshit Rana or Prasidh Krishna to be in there, to be, kept hitting. Keep hitting that rib cage mark यार, ball after ball. And Harshit Rana, उसको तुम उतार दो इनके आगे यार एक बार, वो छोड़ेगा नहीं. वो I know the kind of head he comes from. वो इनको छोड़ेगा नहीं. He has a very strong head, very strong. He has fought the system. एज ग्रुप क्रिकेट दिल्ली से उतना नहीं खेला, बट वो हंग्री है, एंड उसको स्लेज करो वो 3 वापस देगा. So he's the kind of character you would.
We're counting
No,
wickets here. It's not about sledging and everything.
I'm talking about the kind of character.
We don't want a hothead we don't want a hothead who gets carried away with the conditions. We want
That's what
somebody
Siraj was last tour, Chetan. That's what Siraj was last tour.
But he got the
Even
wickets.
after,
he had a proper
he will
performance.
also get, यार. Like ऐसा उसको underestimate मत करो. बॉलर ठीक
I'm not
ठाक है.
underestimating. I'm saying कि आपको
Yeah.
खिलाना है किसी को तो आप इस reason से खिलाओगे that he'll get wickets for you, not
He'll
on
get
basis of
wickets for you, and he'll get that character on the table, yaar. You need
Yeah,
characters
okay.
also to win test matches.
Okay, let's talk about this because Siraj is a hot topic. We'll get more comments in just a bit. Kumar Kanishk कह रहे हैं we experimented with 4 pacers against South Africa last year. It was a disaster. Yes, जब भी आप 4 pacer खिलाओगे, there is always this chance that 2 of them will be underbowled because you'll try and balance it out. Last time around, we had Prasidh Krishna and Shardul. There were a lot of expectations from Prasidh. He didn't come up to match there. And Shardul Thakur, I think, I think
together they leagued runs at 6 and over.
6 and over, yes. So there's always this question mark. But let's talk about Siraj also a bit. Their comments, come on Sahil, how much experience he has. अगर एक spell में leak हो गया तो बहुत pressure होगा. फिर sledging, wedging नहीं सूझेगा वहाँ पे. I mean, Siraj sledges everybody even when he's conceding runs at 10 and over. So you never know. Siraj की बात करते हैं थोड़ी सी. The last time when he went to Australia, those 3 test matches, brilliant, especially in the conditions that he played, the kind of mindset that he was in, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But Dopayan, I want to bring you in here and then we'll get Srini's thoughts as well. Look at the last 10 test matches. Yes, he's not played in those same conditions as Australia, but look, last 10 test matches, his average has gone from 29 to 31, which shows he's not in that form, probably in that rhythm that we expected him to be. His performance has been really up and down. There hasn't been a consistency about him that we can talk about. अगर हम consistency की बात करें तो वो inconsistency में है. So Siraj,
to start with, his 6 for 15 is beginning of this year. That was in South Africa. So your basic contention that he has been up and in India, the average going up from 29 to 31 is not massive. Yeah, like he has played 5, 6, 7 test matches in India. 29 to 31 means his average is 33, right? Bowling average is 33. So Kapil Dev finished with a career average of 30. You want
to compare Kapil Dev and Siraj?
No, I am not comparing, but I am saying कि average ज़्यादा नहीं बढ़ा है उसका.
नहीं ठीक है. Average is just 1 point. Average is just 1 point. I'm talking about these 10 test matches. Do you think आपने वो 10 test match देखे हैं? We have discussed it on the show as well. Siraj hasn't hit a consistent patch. That consistent patch has been missing from him. Let's be honest about that. Stats don't always tell the real story. Right?
No, see, he is a good bowler for these conditions, Australian conditions. He is a bowler meant for Australia and South Africa primarily, where there is bounce. And if you have taken him, you believe in his quality.
Okay.
So if you have taken him, you play him in the first test. It's a long series. Shami will come in due course. There will be injuries. बहुत permutations, combinations होता रहेगा along the course of a 5 test series as grueling as this. But for the first test, Siraj and Bumrah, these are 2 locked selections. And even I think Akash Deep, after what he did in the few games, New Zealand and Bangladesh, he bowled really well. Unless there is something drastically different in the thought process, I don't know. Because Harshit Rana, he will again get a chance to play. He will get a chance
at some
to play
point. You will see Harshit Rana. Yes. Okay. Shuni, your thoughts on this? Wait. I'll just take a comment here. Siraj's first-class record is impressive. No doubt about that. In fact, his Australia record is very impressive. And I think that is something that puts him in contention for the playing 11. It's just that he's not in rhythm or hasn't been in rhythm in the home test, which is okay because एक चीज और भी है ना Shrini, he's somebody whose natural length is back of length. You know, he's not somebody who bowls full a lot. जो उनका natural length पड़ता है सिराज के हाथ से जो निकलती है ball, that lands back of length. In Australia, that back of length is very, very important. That's his natural length. His record in Australia all goes in his favor. And when we talk about youngsters like Jaiswal and Gill and Rishabh Pant standing up with the bat, somebody like Siraj is somebody we look up to rise up with the ball. Your thoughts?
Okay, first thing first. Before I go any further on this, let me clarify that as things fall into place, thanks to that Vipine line, the more and more clarity that I get, this debate is not at all between Siraj and Rana, right? Rana
Yeah.
is now, in my mind, Rana is part of the playing 11. He's
Okay.
making his debut in
Okay.
Perth.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Then he will
It
play in
now
Akash Deep's place,
Well,
sir.
he will
Now
play
the
in
question
Akash
is,
place
one
for
second.
Bayern.
Now the question is Siraj or Akash Deep. That is the question. Now Chetan says that okay, there's a specific skill set Siraj brings to the table, which again probably puts him ahead. I could probably say the same thing about Akash Deep, probably kind of given the kind of left-handers that Australians will have. Probably though Gautam Gambhir might be more excited about the idea of playing Akash
Hmm.
Deep. Then again, it all boils down to who is showing what kind of rhythm in the nets. I mean, these are the guys who are watching them. From the outside, not having seen anything from the outside, given the energy levels and the form and the rhythm that Siraj is bowling with, I personally wouldn't mind going ahead with Akash Deep. In this test match and to start with from the outside again, as I said, I don't know who's bowling like how in the nets, but going into this series, the kind of cricket that I've seen, the kind of energy level that I saw Akash Deep with, and the form that Siraj has,
Okay.
the kind
Hmm.
of touch that Siraj has been, it allows me
Okay.
to
I
think
just want
that
to make a point
Akash.
here. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to make a point. Siraj is presently low on confidence. I'm not talking about the second line. That is Prashant's opinion. The first line is low on confidence. I don't agree with. Siraj can never be low on confidence. Whenever he's conceding at 10 and over, he's trying to sledge the batters. So that is not a bowler who's short on confidence. Maybe he's short on rhythm. एक मैं news आपको बता दूं. I think it was Monday and Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, right? So Monday and Tuesday they did not bowl very much. Bumrah and Siraj did not bowl very much. Also, India ke test bowlers do not bowl on pre-match day. So if Bumrah and Siraj do not bowl on Thursday, we will know for sure that they are playing. But now the fact that Bumrah and Siraj haven't bowled a lot in the nets, and the majority of bowling is being done by Prasidh Krishna and Mukesh Kumar and Akash Deep and Harshit Rana, that goes to show you that Bumrah and Siraj are lock-in. And I would assume that there is no doubt about that, that Siraj would be a lock-in given his past performances, given his natural length. Right. Let's get some more comments in and make this a whole debate here. Uh, yeah, Rana also didn't bowl today. Yes, Rana also didn't bowl today. Okay. उपेंद्र कहते हैं कि आकाश दीप is vulnerable with the old ball, so carry and head smack them. So we have to trust Siraj the way Morne Mokul trusts and loves Siraj Bhai character in BCCI TV yesterday. So okay, Upendra is a big fan of Mohammad Siraj. Sahil, Akash Deep vulnerable with the old ball. We have discussed that a lot here, right? ओल्ड कुकाबुरा एंड पर्सनली ये मेरा बिलीफ है आप टीओआई बाउंड बियॉन्ड द बाउंड्री पे मैं बार बार ये कह रहा हूं कि माय बिलीफ इज दिस सीरीज विल बी डिसाइडेड बाय हु यूटिलाइजेस द ओल्ड कुकाबुरा बेटर this series is going to be decided by that simple very simple Sahil Akash the vulnerability with the old ball is that a fair comment
I don't know, yaar. Again, he's a very untested commodity when it comes to bowling with the Kookaburra. He has enjoyed
yeah
success with the SG with the more pronounced seam, and
yeah
it suits his bowling style. क्योंकि उसका
yeah
ball पढ़ के बहुत कटता है. So
yeah
whether he'll be that effective when he'll be bowling with the much lesser pronounced, I would say, जो Kookaburra का seam रहता है, I don't really know, yaar. I think I haven't seen him bowl with the Kookaburra. मतलब जितने लोगों ने देखा है उसको in the net sessions, maybe they, if at all they manage to see those net sessions from a good vantage point, so that could be, मतलब मेरे को दोनों का जगह नहीं दिख रहा यार 11 में. Hand on my heart, I don't see both of them playing यार. सिराज और आकाशदीप में से आप एक ही खिलाओगे 11 में.
because तुमको तो हर्षित राणा को डेब्यू देना ही देना है
हाँ,
ठीक
मेरे
है
को चाहिए भाई, मेरे को कैरेक्टर, मेरे लिए टेस्ट क्रिकेट
okay
कैरेक्टर जितवाएगा. मेरे को
Okay.
ये
Okay.
एक टप्पा पे डालने वाले बॉलर ठीक है, पर हर्षित राणा कैरेक्टर आप लो, आप देखो क्या
हाँ.
मजा बात देगा वो. एंड ही कैन बैट यार, he has
Okay.
a first class
Okay.
100, he can bat.
Okay. Okay. Dwapayan, this comment for you. Washington will be considered ahead of Ashwin as off spinner. Forget who's coming for press conference. Let's forget that for a minute. Um, Ashwin ahead of sorry, Washington Sundar ahead of Ashwin in Perth. Is Washi really a better test batter than Ashwin at number 7? I'm not very sure about that. 600s
No,
for Ashwin, right?
no, no.
But what do you make of this comment? Is
No, no.
Sundar ahead of Ashwin for the Perth test?
First things first, it's the bowling, right? Like it is not a comparison at all. Like
Hmm.
Washington Sundar and Ashwin is not a comparison here. Like
Hmm.
it,
Yeah.
so because we are looking at an off spinner, and if we are
Hmm.
looking at an off spinner, then it is a no-brainer at this point of time. Later, if you have to play Washington Sundar,
Yes.
then you have to play him as an
Yes.
all-rounder, probably slightly up the order or something like that. But in the first test, when you are looking at specialists, you will look. Uh, Ashwin is so far ahead as a bowler that
Yeah.
I don't think this
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
at this point of the series does not come in. It will come
Yeah.
in. I'm telling you,
Some point.
this is
If
going
he
to
doesn't
come
give
in.
the return, yes.
Yeah, yeah. But at the moment, no.
Hmm.
It has to be Ashwin.
Yeah.
If
You
it's
have
an
to.
if it's between Jadeja and Ashwin, I would still prefer Jadeja in Australia because of the spunk in Jadeja's batting. But if the team management thinks it's Ashwin, then let it be Ashwin, but not Washington
Okay.
Sundar as the lone spinner in this test match. No.
Okay. Okay. I only, yeah. Ashwini, go ahead.
I love Washington Sundar. I just love that kid. I've always, kind of, I've always seen, waited to see good things happen in his case. But with this test match, I totally go with Dwaipan. Ashwin, there's no, I don't think this is a debate right now, open right now. I mean, you talk about R. Ashwin, first test on a tour as important as the one in Australia. I mean, I will close my eyes and go play R. Ashwin. So I'm not going to walk that path.
Okay, and as far as the Jadeja Ashwin debate goes, my opinion is very clear on this. Ashwin overseas has to be your first choice spinner. Jadeja is your spin all rounder, somebody who can spin the ball, who can bat a bit, who can field well. आपको उसको spin category में नहीं देख सकते overseas conditions. Every time Indian cricket gets in that debate, it hurts Indian cricket. Ashwin has to be your front line spinner going ahead, or however much Test cricket is left in his career. Ashwin has to be your first choice. That's something that I disagree with from Dwapayan. Okay, let's take some more comments. Uh, Let me check. Let me check. India should definitely play an extra batter. Okay. Okay. Today is November 19. I don't want to talk about that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, why? We already won a World Cup this year. So क्यों पुराना सोचना है आपको? Yeah. Okay. Let's. I'm just searching more comments here. Okay. Um, yeah. Prashant says playing an extra batter would give negative signals to Australia. I'm not sure about that. Sahil, is that going to be a negative signal that we don't have confidence in our batting, if at all we play an extra batter?
You have already given a negative signal to the entire world, yaar, when you are not playing Abhimanyu Iswaran and you have kept Devdutt Patikal back, who was not even in the original squad. तो आई डोंट थिंक ये सिग्नल विग्नल कोई इतना सीरियसली लेता है इंडियन क्रिकेट के अंदर. अभी जो मेरे को लेटेस्ट पता चला, यश दयाल हैज आल्सो जॉइंड द स्क्वाड. यश दयाल वाज विद द T20 स्क्वाड इन साउथ अफ्रीका, is in Australia right now. I don't know for what joy. There hasn't.
Left arm pacer practice in the nets.
हाँ, खलील अहमद क्या करने गया फिर? खलील अहमद है तो वहां पे
दो बॉलर चाहिए ना, दो चाहिए आपको. Maybe they were not happy with the bowling reserves they have there. They're not happy with the throwdown specialist, whatever. I mean, you have Mitchell Starc over there. आपको practice करना है. 3 net है. You're practicing against pace, left arm pace. So you don't want to overburden Khalil, and maybe at some point you might even think of adding a left arm pacer. Ravi Shankar Kumar, obviously my playing 11. Let's see what he says.
he has dropped KL.
He's dropped KL Rahul. लो भाई तो फिर ये तो कैंसिल ही हो गया ना, because KL Rahul is playing. Okay, Abhimanyu Iswaran, Jaiswal, Devdutt Patikal, Virat Kohli, Rishabh Pant, Jurel, Jadeja, Ashwin, Siraj, Krishna, and Bumrah. Akash Deep ko bhi he's left out, and he's playing both Jadeja and Ashwin. Dwapayan, do we see both Jadeja and Ashwin playing
No
at
chance.
any point in the series?
Sydney,
Srini is also
maybe,
saying no.
That
maybe,
no, 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 no.
maybe,
At any point in the sorry, sorry.
maybe Sydney.
Maybe Sydney. Okay, Sydney's been, it's been raining a lot in Sydney over the last few years. Srini, you were saying.
At any point in the series, if it comes to seeing all these combinations happening, then we are
Okay.
winning the series.
Okay. Nawab the Sam. I don't know if your name is Nawab or Sam, but thanks for your comment. I don't know people judging Sarfaraz Khan only in 2 matches. What will happen if Dhruv fails in 2 matches? Then should he be dropped from India? Virat Kohli was king. He's not dropped after 2 matches. Okay, let's not go to Virat Kohli here because Virat Kohli is Virat Kohli. But is it a fair? I think it's a fair comment, right? 2 bad matches. Sarfaraz ko you're going to leave out. Yes, Dhruv Jurel, horses for courses policy. He's looking good. India A में he's faced a lot of deliveries, a lot of runs. But Sahil, it's going to be a little unfair on Sarfaraz, isn't it?
So why unfair, yaar? Matlab, we all know about the fact that
Two,
there are
no, no.
doubts.
Let me finish. 2 matches ago, he scored 150. 2 matches
समझ
ago.
गया. I'm
But
still
आप
not convinced that he can
आप
make.
पूरे बैटिंग नहीं ठीक है लेकिन look convinced की बात नहीं है convinced की बात
नहीं,
नहीं है
मैं आपको
you need
सिर्फ
that evidence right convinced होने के लिए you need that evidence
हाँ, so there's no evidence of him tackling quality pace bowling with ease. That Mark would spell to him. I
in the
think वो मेरे
IPL
को अभी
yes
तक
let's
याद है
talk
यार.
about that
आईपीएल
yeah
नहीं आईपीएल नहीं इंग्लैंड टेस्ट सीरीज के अंदर जहाँ इट
मुझे
रैटल्ड
IPL
हिम.
की सीरीज याद है मुझे
मेरे
IPL की
को
स्पेल याद है
मेरे को इंग्लैंड टेस्ट सीरीज
Markwood
आई
in
स्टिल
IPL at Lucknow had opened him up
Markwood did rattle him. He did manage to get score a point over Markwood. Played a couple of good shots. वो ramp मारा एक अच्छा front foot pull मारा. But still, this is quality pace you are talking about. They'll bounce him out. They'll bounce him out at
okay
Waka.
Okay, ठीक है. I still think it's a little unfair. Reed Sabla says Nitish Reddy at 7 will be a good option, but also offers some fast bowling. So we go in with 3 pacers. You have the option of Nitish Reddy with 1 spinner. Dopayan, is this an option for India?
That is the
Is
only
is
option.
this okay? Let me rephrase. Is this the most likely option for India?
See, this is the template that India started following since that series Srini covered in 2018, 17-18 in South Africa, where they played Hardik Pandya at 7,
Yeah.
and then 3 pacers and 1 spinner. And they won the third test match. They won a test match in they won one test match in England, and they did very well at the end of the year in Australia. So this was the template that they had started, and uh, then Hardik was replaced by Shardul Thakur in that slot. Now that change will be Nitish Reddy, because this is a
Okay.
template that they like, that they are
Okay.
probably comfortable with. A guy
Hmm.
who probably gives you 25, 30, 35 runs, gives you 10, 12 overs, and if there is luck, maybe a wicket or two. So I think
Okay.
Nitish Reddy is a choice that you will have to go with, because you have banked on his talent and taken him. So it's a and he can bat a bit. We have seen in IPL he bats a bit, and he's okay. He's not bad. If he has played well in the practice matches, why not?
Okay, Ravi Shankar says you can't give debut cap to someone like Reddy who's yet to prove his mettle in red ball cricket. Sahil, is that a fair comment? Also, sports fan says Jadeja, Sundar, Akash Deep, Bumrah, Siraj. That's his bowling lineup. Should not gamble with Reddy. Sundar is more than handy as a batter. What do you make of these two comments, Sahil?
No, I think if you want a handy batter, then you play a proper batter. ना फिर वो bits and pieces वाला risk क्यों लेना? Because Sundar is not going to make any sort of impact other than just giving you tight overs if possible from one
Yeah.
end. Na? So Washington Sundar to me right now is not even in discussion. Like I don't
Okay.
see him even in the playing 11 discussion right now. It's all about like getting your pace attack right, yeah. Because पांचों test का pitches conditions completely different
I
होने वाला
think
है.
yeah.
And I think Chetan, the build up to this test has been unlike an Australian summer, right? It has been raining for the last 2 days in Perth. There's
Yeah.
forecast of rain for the next 2 days. It's cloudy on Friday. Saturday is when you actually start to get ample sunshine. So
Yeah.
you
Weather,
have
yeah.
you have to factor all those things, right? And abhi softness rahega wicket ke upar, drop in ho chahe kuch ho, they have watered it well. It's very lush. So all these things will, and that's what I'm saying. You need to play the right bowlers who you think can hunt in a pack. That's
Hmm.
how I look
Okay.
at it.
Yeah. Okay. This is a very important comment here, and Dopine, I want your thoughts on this. जितना भी reports आया है, you've also got your own sources. I've got my sources. Sahil's got his. हमने जडेजा का नाम इतना नहीं सुना है. We've not heard talk of Jadeja at all in this build-up. We've talked about everything, but where is Jadeja? He's just gone under the radar here, isn't he? Whether it's bowling, batting, he's totally gone under the radar. What's happening there?
He is probably see one thing that Gautam Gambhir said in one of his press conferences, which was very interesting. As I start thinking, he said that I would prefer a spinner abroad who gives me wickets on day one.
Hmm.
So if that logic comes in, then Ashwin is a bowler, is a spinner who can give India wickets on day one. He has a
Yeah.
better chance of giving wickets on day one than Jadeja, because in
Hmm.
Australia, day five that wo jo pitch से turn, that thing उतना probably नहीं आएगा in a place like Perth. So
Hmm.
given that logic, I think the narrative around the Indian team is probably centered around Ashwin at the moment. I think that is where the ball has turned. And
Hmm.
what I feel is why Jadeja's name is not there, because Jadeja's batting has come down a bit. This we have noticed
Okay.
in some time, even in T20 cricket, wherever he, even in the last series, Jadeja doesn't seem the extremely good batter that he was looking a year ago. So
Hmm.
if his batting starts taking a toll, it is difficult for him to hold on to his place as a spinner abroad. So that's where
Okay.
another issue
Okay.
that probably
Interesting.
the team management is thinking.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Mohammad Suhail कहते हैं कि why not Prasidh Krishna? He was ruthless against Australia. He has big, long height and hit the deck fast bowler. Sahil, compare with Harshit Rana here. Since
I'll
you're such
still
a
go
big
with Harshit. I'll still
No,
go
no,
with Harshit.
I know you will go with Harshit Rana. तभी तो तुमसे सवाल पूछा है. क्यों? Give us क्यों. People are tuning in for why.
Control. He gives me more
Okay.
control. Harshit gives me more control. He's character and he can bat. So he's a package for me right now for the Perth test. That's how I look at it. 20-25
Extremely
रन
overrated.
एक तो 20-25 रन एक तो विकेट 10-12 गाली मेरा मैच सेट है इसके
Okay.
बियॉन्ड मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए फर्स्ट टेस्ट में हो गया
Okay.
Prasid, Prasid is like मेरे पास हाइट है, मेरे पास परफेक्शन है, मेरे पास पेस है, मेरे पास फॉर्म है, मेरे पास ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अगेंस्ट रिकॉर्ड है. तुम्हारे पास क्या है? मेरे पास गौतम है.
Gautam Gambhir hai. Okay. Srini has gone all filmy. He's left Mumbai.
I,
He's come to Delhi, and now he's gone all filmy. Okay. Let's see if we have more comments. I'm just looking at the fresh comments that have come. Okay. Uh, Let me see. Who will get Travis head out? We've talked about this. Okay, let's get this. We've yeah. Let's my producer is also asking me. We had some stats from yesterday. Let's take that. We yesterday we spoke about this, and this is a point that I've made again and again. Um, we talked about this. Ki confidence India mein Indian batters, the confidence isn't that high. The runs aren't that high. Now let's compare this. This is WTC 23-25 overall. Jaiswal, Sharma, Gill, Kohli, and Surfraz. That's your top five batters. And in home conditions. Now compare those percentages. Compare those averages. Yashasvi Jaiswal, your only batter who's absolutely in superb confidence and form. Sharma, Kohli, Sarfaraz hasn't played overseas, so can't really judge over there. Again, now we compare with the Australia batters. Can we have the Australia batters on screen as well? Yeah, there you go. Now you look at this comparison. ठीक है आप होम एवरेजेस देखिए और आप उनके ओवरऑल एवरेजेस देखिए is that such a big gap? Manas Labuschagne, he's struggling at both home and away overall almost equally. You look at somebody like a Mitch Marsh, his average just goes up, just really goes up a notch. Usman Khwaja, maybe a little bit down there. He's played more matches overseas, of course. Steve Smith, 44 ka average at home in this WTC cycle. I mean, Travis Head, he hasn't played too many games over there. But again, the point stands. जो मैंने कहा था कि आपका जो old Kookaburra होने वाला है, these batters with the old against the old Kookaburra, that is where India have to plan, have to execute, because आप early balls, early inroads बना लो with the new ball. But how you bowl with the old Kookaburra, I think that's going to be very vital. Dopayan, let's start your thoughts on this. I think you were there yesterday in the show when we were discussing this.
Yes, Mitchell Marsh, I think, is a weak link in that lineup. Whatever his average is, he has never bothered Indian
You
bowlers.
don't agree with me on this point. You just
Uh,
don't agree
Mitchell,
with
ye-
me on this point.
yes, Mitchell Marsh. I have seen with the India, like he is no great shakes against India. Indian bowlers are very skillful. He slightly struggle when it comes to skill. But I am slightly worried about Alex Carey. Alex Carey,
Okay.
he is not there in this list, but he's a
Yeah.
very good,
Yeah. Maybe
very
in the
very
top five.
dependable bat. He's a very
Yeah.
dependable bat. So
Yeah.
this lineup is a very strange if you mix. See, Khwaja is again a very very solid bat. Then Maxwini is new. Then your Marnas is again Marnas is not playing well. He is 29 and
Yeah.
28.
Manas is
That's it.
one batter who's not. Yeah. Yeah.
Ha,
That I agree. Yeah.
probably they are playing Marner still now because they do not have an option there. Your
Mm.
Steve Smith is Steve Smith. Steve Smith is there. Virat Kohli, so he's fine. And Travis Head is a kind of player. He's like a bit like Virendra Sehwag. जिस दिन लगेगा तो उस दिन you have to see अब उसको देखना पड़ेगा कि वो जीता के लेके जाएगा. That
वही जा रहा है.
हाँ, बट वो 6 इनिंग्स में एक बार शायद लगेगा. So that thing is there. So it's a fair mix, which is not it's not a great batting lineup. I'm telling you, I have been watching Australia series for a very long time. This is not one of the best batting lineups that I have seen. In fact, their 2021 lineup was better because Steve Smith etc. were in better form going into that series. So.
Okay.
India, so it's basically a battle between two struggling batting lineups. So let's
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Srini, your thoughts on this? We're getting a lot of comments on this topic. Kumar says, Reed Savlaga comment is on the screen. Let's not forget about Steve Smith. Everyone is talking about Travis Head, but for me, Steve Smith is the real danger. I could not agree more. Steve Smith,
The
last.
last 6 words of this sentence is what India needs to bear in mind on the tour of Australia. Think what you may want to, target who you may want to, plan against whoever you want to, but remember the fact that Steve Smith is the real danger. You want to be in this series, control Steve Smith.
Control Steve Smith. Okay. We're also getting other comments here.
I, I
Let's
will
talk.
I will just put in one line because Steve Smith's average is a bit down because he was opening,
He was
mind it,
opening.
in
Yeah.
the last
That's right.
last few
That's right. Yeah.
matches.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
he's back at number 4, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's a
he's starting
bigger
at number
threat
4 this
there.
series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And
The
again,
older Kokabura.
okay, I think this is a bit unfair to put in just Siraj in this comment, but again, my point is old Kookaburra against Head and Marsh, with let's say they are 250 runs, behind their belt. That's a recipe for disaster right there. And problem is Head and Marsh score at 5 runs and over. Uh, okay, Debanka Jyoti again. He's saying both teams are vulnerable. 300 and 350 will be the winning score as bowling lineups are good on both sides. Sahil, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, 300. As Nitin Bhai was speaking yesterday, if India managed to score 275, 300 on a consistent basis in the series, they will be in a very good space after the Sydney Test here. And the scoreline could well be in our favor. 275, 300 could well be the magic number in the series. Sydney, Melbourne, let's see how the weather holds up and what happens and how the
Sydney,
teams are
Melbourne.
placed after the
Sydney,
first
Melbourne is
three
too
tests.
far ahead. Sydney,
Yeah,
Melbourne is
so
too
for
far
the
ahead because you're talking
first
about
two
three test
tests,
matches already done by then.
yeah, so I'm talking about the first two tests, including the day-night test. 275, 300 275 could be the magic number here. Waka
Okay.
and Adelaide. Yeah,
Okay. Again, depends on what kind of pitches we will have
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Um, Bowling department, good to great. Again, we would prefer if you could say your name, guys. Okay. Good to great कहते हैं कि the bowling department could be the big difference between these two teams. Yes, and Rajesh Gupta is here as well. He says it's bowling where Australia has the edge as batting is struggling for both teams altogether. So, final comment from you guys. as our build-up will continue tomorrow. We'll come back more with Mike Hussey's comments in the interview. But final comment on this, Rajesh Gupta keh rahe hain, again, like I said, bowling, where Australia has the edge. And the topic for our discussion today was India's bowling attack. How important is to get that bowling attack right on the very first go in this very first test match. Srini, let's start with you because you were there in the WTC final. India did not get its bowling act right. It did not get its playing 11 right. They selected a team for just day one. We have to get the selection bang on straight away.
Very true.
Srini. Hmm.
We were you remind me of the WTC final. We were discussing the man, whether he's going to play this test match or not.
Ashwin,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And from that standpoint, I forget what the conditions are going to be. Forget whatever it is. I will not risk the idea of not playing. I will not entertain the idea of not playing our team in this test match. First test of a tour as important as that of Australia, I will go with R. Ashwin for what that guy brings to the table from an all-round perspective. The bat, the ball, and the brain all put
Hmm.
together. R. Ashwin is part of my playing 11.
Hmm.
That said, just to round this up, I am assuming, I mean, the question that you had was to round up the kind of conversation that we were having, right? My mind goes back to Pakistan's tour of Australia. First test, again, same venue. What exactly did Pakistan do wrong? If you look at the gist of their test match, they won 25 130 for 1 wicket.
Yeah.
Australia batting first, big 100. I don't know, from I think Khwaja, big 100, and
Yeah.
then they managed to I mean, they did a great job with the ball. Where did they lose the game? They just
Yeah.
couldn't manage to put runs on the board.
Hmm.
So all of that is fine, picking up 20 wickets, etc., etc. You go back and see wherever India managed to kind of punch above their weight on Australian soil, right? Go back to 2004. What do we remember? We remember 144 Gaba. We remember Rahul Dravid Adelaide. We remember VVS Lakshman. We remember Sehwag 195. We remember instances where runs were put on the board basis which we managed to stand there and fight. Every single time that we did not manage to create an impact is when we could not put those runs on board. So from that perspective, to wrap up today's discussion, I will go with two things. One is Harshit Rana, and the other is an extra batter.
Okay. Sahil, your thoughts? I mean, getting the playing 11 right is going to be very important. Obviously, your playing 11 includes Harshit Rana, as Srini summed it up.
No, I'll repeat what I said at the start of the show. You need to play the right fast bowlers here. Right group of fast bowlers for every test, and don't be obsessed with the fact कि आपको सिराज को 4 टेस्ट देने हैं, आकाशदीप को 3 टेस्ट देने हैं. Play the bowlers who you feel will be effective on a particular surface. I think that will be the key. That group mentality. You have to hunt in a pack.
Okay, Lopayan, your final comment on this.
Yes, I will go back to the comment of the viewer. I do not think that this Indian attack is inferior to Australia's. If at
Okay.
all, the Australian attack is just a little more experienced. If India has to win this test, have to be competitive in this series, it's the bowlers who will keep them in the series. This is a superb lot, and this Harshit Rana, I think he can be the joker in the pack, as Sahil is also saying. If he is really bowling well at the nets, then if we can play Dhruv Jurel at number 6 on the basis of basically practice games and net sessions, then we can also play Harshit Rana as that pace option. Because yeah, that's what it is. So let's go with Bumrah, Harshit Rana, and Siraj, and Nitish Reddy, and Ashwin. And
Okay, that's all very
we have a
fine. But tell me
yeah.
something, Lopayan, this is a question just to you. You think
Hmm.
Australia's batting is fragile, almost as fragile as India, and India might have an edge there. You think India's fast bowlers have an edge? How much is India winning the series by? How much is India winning the series by? तुम्हें इंडिया का बैटिंग भी बेटर लगता है, तुम्हें इंडिया का बॉलिंग भी बेटर लगता है, क्या इंडिया का वीक क्या है, और इंडिया सीरीज कितने से जीतने वाली है?
2-all, चलो 2-all लेके चलते
Two
हैं.
all. Okay. Despite India being better, you're saying 2-all. Come
हाँ,
on.
उसका home
qualify for the
conditions है.
final.
It's a proper fight, like between
Okay.
two bad sides. So चलो.
Yeah. So, proper fight between two bad sides.
I love it.
Okay, it's a proper fight
It's a
between
proper
two
fight
sides.
between two
Yeah,
underperforming teams.
two
Uh,
bad sides. And let me just say this: Dwapayan says that these two are bad sides. They are currently at the top of the WTC
underperforming sides. Yeah, I will just amend
performance.
my comment. It's an
Currently,
two underperforming
currently
sides.
at the top of the WTC points table, by the way. That's the schedule. Of course, we'll continue our build up for the first test match. Tomorrow, we'll have some quotes from Mike Hussey's interview, and we'll also discuss that. Sahil Malhotra has done that interview. आप जाके Times of India की website पे पढ़ सकते हैं. We'll have more discussion. We'll continue our discussion. Which is the better side, which is underperforming batting lineup, bowling lineup, and we'll take as many of your comments as possible. And of course, tomorrow we'll have Ravi Chandran Ashwin's comments from Perth to discuss as well. For the moment, that's it from our show today. Thanks for all your comments today. Thanks for watching. And thanks to K. Srinivas Rao, Group Sports Editor, Times of India, Dwapayan Datta and Sahil Malhotra, ACE senior reporters and editors for Times of India. Chetan Narula signing off tomorrow, 6:30. The build up to the first test continues on Beyond the Boundary.